Well, now in fairly flat seas, Wave Rover is leaving the Gulf Stream. And the Gulf Stream, what a beast. It was adding at least 2 knots to Wave Rover's speed, and it's like a conveyor belt. You just get on it and you don't even know you're on it, and you're going away, and then you look at your chart and you look at the GPS speed and you see, oh my goodness, Wave Rover is doing 7 knots and the wind is barely blowing 7 knots. Anyway, we're still in fairly calm breezes, probably 5 to 7 knots, but we're making almost 5 knots. And the reason for that is we have the drifter up, we have fairly flat seas, and I'll show you all that right now. This is perfect weather for the drifter. They have the full jib up. Mark III is doing exactly what it was designed to do. It's holding us right on course. These are ideal conditions for it. You can see it's hardly working at all because the seas are only about 2, maybe 3 feet. The other really interesting thing that happened today was I was below deck and I heard this noise, and it was a bizarre noise. I had never heard it before. I ran up and it was a big circle around Wave Rover, like gas or something had come up underneath Wave Rover. Now bear in mind, we're still in the Gulf Stream at this point. We're still in pretty much 16,000 feet of water. And I kept looking out there trying to figure this out, and about maybe 100 yards after the fact, a whale's head popped up and spouted. I think the whale was probably sleeping, and by some freak of statistical whatever, needle in a haystack, I think we almost ran over it. And it popped its head up, and it stayed up on the surface then for probably a good 5 minutes, just spouting water, relaxing, and just dropped out of sight. I wanted to get a picture of it, but by the time I got the camera up and down, like I said, it was about 200 yards away from me at that point, and I knew the GoPro wouldn't pick up anything. Bizarre, but beautiful at the same time. I can clearly see the whale's head and see it spout several times. Anyway, we're almost at sunset. I believe it's my 23rd day at sea, and I've just laid in the course for home. Well, I've laid in the course for the Cancel Causeway. There's a canal there I have to go through that takes me from the Atlantic Ocean to the Northumberland Strait, and then I can lay the course in for home. More about that later. It's my 25th day at sea, and it's been a pretty busy day so far. It started off this morning with, I had the drifter up and there was very little wind and the drifter wasn't even staying full. Then that filled and I could tell, well, okay, now I have enough wind, I can hoist the main and it won't slat around. So I did that. And then about half an hour later, there was too much wind, so I had to change the drifter and hoist the working jib. And then about half an hour after that, again, there was too much wind. Wave Rover wasn't in control, so I reefed the jib. And then again, about an hour later, we're still not under control, so I had to fully reef the main. So now we're fully reefed, a fully reefed main and a fully reefed jib, but we're back under control, and we're making our way to the Cancel Canal. Now the Cancel Canal is a canal that separates Cape Breton Island from mainland Nova Scotia, and it also connects the Atlantic Ocean with Northumberland Strait, which I need to get to Prince Edward Island, to where I live. So I'm going to take you on deck and show you this, but the seas have really built up. The wind is from the southeast and the swell seems to be from the east, and we have breaking seas, although it seems to me that we've calmed down in the last half hour or so. Anyway, let's go take a look on deck. The sun is setting on the, what is my 25th day at sea. It's June 12th, and tonight the temperature is going down to 12 degrees Celsius. That's about 53 degrees Fahrenheit. That's pretty cool. There's already a layer of dew on the boat, heavy dew. And also another interesting fact, we've left the deep Atlantic, which is about 16,000 feet deep in the area of the Gulf Stream where we just were, and now it's rapidly becoming shallow. We'll be in waters of about 300 feet probably by tomorrow. Apart from that, we're also expecting a little bit of fog tomorrow. Well, maybe a little bit is the wrong word. It should be fog for probably 12 to 18 hours, or so the forecast says right now. So things are happening at a pretty quick pace as we approach the continent of North America. The other interesting thing is the wind, which was just howling throughout most of the day, now has just, well, it's calmed down fairly well, but we're still making about 3.5 knots. I've left one reef in the main and one reef in the jib, just because the wind has been so variable throughout the day. And right now she's nicely balanced, and we're making reasonably good time for the evening. It's light by about 5 a.m. in the morning, so it'll only be a few hours I'll be leaving like this. I'll reassess at first light tomorrow. I'll be able to see what the ocean looks like and see if I need to put a little more canvas up. Anyway, I just want you to take a look quickly at the sunset and what the water looks like. Well, it was a cold one last night. The temperature inside Wave Rover was 12 degrees. I didn't put the thermometer outside, but I suspect it was a degree or two cooler. We had fog, and the decks were just really slick. The top sides were really slick. I was up at, well, several times, but I needed to make a sail change around 0500, and when I got up, it was very slick, and I could see the fog was here. And the fog is still with us, and right now we're looking at visibility of about 100 yards. And according to the forecast, that'll be with me now for the next 24, maybe 36 hours. The winds are also very light, but the forecast actually said I should have 10 knots of wind. So I'm leaving my sails totally up, expecting that at any moment I'm going to get that wind. But as it is, with this slight breeze we have, we're making about 2.5, almost 3 knots in the direction that we want to go. I'll just give you a little panorama of the fog. I hope the camera can pick it up. There's Wave Rover's mainsail. It's not supposed to be doing that. And it's a full jib up forward. I'm not exactly sure of the science behind it, but everything seems really still and quiet when you have fog. And the last time Wave Rover had fog was on her outward bound journey when she left Canada, and it was for about 3 days, and it was within about 200 miles of where we are right now. So this is, well, I think we're almost in the Grand Banks, but we'll call it the Fog Bank right now.